finance. Kind of sunny day out here, so I'm not sure that I can see my phone all that well here. But anyway, how I do my readings is, and again, this is for Libra, and again, just the next couple of weeks in regards to finances and whatever questions kind of prompt around that. So, anyway, what we're looking at is kind of minor arcana, really. There's nothing here of major event. I would say over the next 2 weeks, you do have something through that looks to be a bit of a win here. We also have the Prince of Swords also coming out here. And then we also have some anxiety with the Nine of Swords coming out here. So there is also Princess of Pentacles. So there is something here coming through in terms of finances, I would say. Eight of Wands, there's some haste. Something that's going to be coming through rather rapidly. So how we're going to start out with this is I'll go through the clarifiers as well that follow up and just kind of read it in terms of finances and some spirituality, add a little bit of all of that into the mix here. Okay, so just to start off, I want to start again with the Six of Wands is a card of energy. It definitely is something about putting you on the map. It does, indicate that there's something here that gets you noticed, or there's something here of that nature. And it's also, again, as the card depicts, more of a win. So there's something I would say that's coming in for you that looks to be around, money, but there is kind of a transitioning period here. And I say that because even though the Eight of Wands is here with a rapid sort of energy, and we've also got the Nine of Swords there, it's like you've been waiting for something, because that Nine of Wands indicates there's been a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of fear mongering, that kind of thing. And there may have been some level of, suffering as well that's kind of gone with this weight in terms of finance. So for whoever this resonates for, you're all on different timelines. Some of you may be relating this to something a little further out. Others might be just in the energy currently. So again, resonates. You all don't make decisions on a Monday or a Wednesday. So anyway, so there are differences, even though you're all sort of Libra energy. So what I'm seeing here again is because the Six of Wands is planted right next to the Two of Cups, feeling is that this is really more along the lines of public recognition or a small victory. And again, for some, this could be a small job offer or some kind of financial gesture. It's a yes about something that's been long awaited for. Hi, happy YouTuber. Sorry, it takes me a second to kind of see it because the sun's beating down. Today it's very hot. But I do feel like with the Six of Wands, as well as that Two of Cups energy, there's something that kind of speaks to a meeting or an alliance or some kind of collaborative energy here that is, it's not money from isolation. It feels like you're engaging with another person and able for that money to come through. So it's like right soul match, or, brings the right resource. So something along that line. What I would say here as well with the Wheel of Fortune is there's a big, now this is also karmic luck that is shifting in your favor. So it's pressure that you've endured. And again, the Nine of Wands tells me that it's fuel for opportunity as well for others. But again, it's still, not you're stuck in the loop, unseen, unsupported, and blocked, because this is the belief that changes everything, that really talks about your past doesn't determine your present value, all of that. But the new information that's coming in here again is that there is some kind of, the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. Things are starting to shift here. The money is almost there. And that Eight of Wands indicates it's coming in pretty quickly. So now we're into of Swords. So despite the fact that we had the Nine of Swords here, and that was followed up with the Two of Wands, everything is just at the precipice. So there's going to be some kind of a message or an email or a conversation or something that brings, that's what the Prince of Swords is, that brings clarity or an offer. So collaborative money, again, there's something that, isn't about this happening just on your terms. It's connected to something else. If you've thought about offering a skill, whether it's writing, reading, art, healing, spiritual guidance, whatever it is, now to build it up with others or online, because you may not see the huge returns right now, but the seeds are there. So I feel like we also had there with the Three of Pentacles, lots of collaborative energy here, bringing something forward, again, upscaling it, more skill development. Sorry, I'm just trying to read because the sun is beating down. Oh, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing okay, guys, out there on a Sunday. The Four of Swords actually really speaks to rest, relaxation. So it's almost like you have to kind of pace yourself situation. You can't force the situation. So it's almost like a tired nervous system, something like that's blocking the action or your intuition or something from you actually seeing something is present, that it's there. The real obstacle is the Nine of Swords. So that tells me that, you've internalized some of the fear or the anxiety, but something won't change or it won't happen, something along that line. So you're just kind of echoing that in your mind. Next to the Two of Wands, of course, this is still indicating that there is something going forward. So it's, when you get to that like I say, Nine of Swords moment, there's still a lot of triggering energy there, so it's almost, you get these thoughts about, well, what's the point of trying or whatever. But I mean, really what it's talking about is one step opens the door. You survived the worst of it, and the cycle, of despair or whatever you want to call it is being interrupted here. So we have a lot of energy around, again, it's kind of an offer of some sort that's also coming in. But again, as the Eight of Wands is the underlying energy, it does indicate there's fast movement, incoming message, unexpected progress, where something was feeling static, not moving, but is accelerating by that final week of May. So I feel like a small but real offer or a deposit or a key conversation or something here opens the door. Possibly two financial channels opening, one fast, one slow. But either way, I feel like you're not stuck, and it just feels like there's much more momentum coming in. So as far as the other cards here, now if we're adding the Princess of Pentacles with the Knight of Wands, with the Knight of Cups, with the Three of Wands, and a time frame, I would still say that there is almost, like I said, two different things that are coming in here. We have Princess of Pentacles being something along the lines of, related to money, education, opportunity, something with long growth or long-term potential, that kind of thing. But it also speaks to prosperity that's grounded and real. It does show and manifesting something here. Something is starting to take shape. So there's some kind of new skill, job, or a business idea that's also emerging, secondary to something else that you're waiting on. When we see the Knight of Wands out here, this is also in and out kind of energy. So it's something about, you've got the energy to take quick action, something along that line, be bold, and it's say yes to a challenge, to an offer, without overthinking it. So it is a fast moving energy, fiery sort of burst of energy, creative energy as well, bursts of motivation, something along that line. But again, it's short lived sort of energy. We're also talking about the Knight of Cups. So again, this is still emotional, still not about the movement. So there's a lot of movement coming in here. The Knight of Cups is really emotional. It's a heartfelt opportunity, something that you enjoy to do. It could be an offer that's coming through from someone who connects with your values, same sort of, you're on the same sort of wavelength or mindset. But it is a chance to make money through something meaningful, creative here as well. And it certainly encourages you to follow your intuition in money matters, not just using your logic. So there is something, like I said, of two sources. One seems to be coming in rather rapidly. The other one is a Three of Wands, which signals an expansion, and you're waiting on efforts for that return. So you have planted seeds, and now you have to wait for those investments to grow. It's things along that line. It is still a strong card of a future vision, and it does kind of indicate something even more international or community connection. But your money or your opportunity may come from somewhere unexpected in that network, something along that line. But again, when we reflect back to the Princess of Pentacles here, I would say this is also something that's really developing over the next 2 weeks or few weeks, maybe even a couple of months on this one. That's sort of the current planting phase. And again, because we have the Knight of Cups and we have the Knight of Wands, that energy kind of speaks to, they're both fast moving energy. So sometime in the 1 to 3 range, there's that initial planting phase. And again, finally, the Three of Wands. But again, there's two different things showing up here. 4 to 8 weeks out is where you see something really start to expand. So right now, There's a lot that's planting and preparing, but I will say that you see some kind of movement in the next 1 to 3 weeks, but it'll be quick, spirited movement and an emotional offer. Could be a job interview for others, or a proposal or something, about collaborating. And again, there's still that entering a waiting phase with the Three of Wands, but I do feel like something is going to act to you more fully around the 1 to 2 month range, a little further out. So keep visualizing your outcome, act boldly on any inspired idea. Because I feel like this is a space where you can really grow something, especially not just over the next 2 weeks, but over the next 2 weeks. I do feel that there is, by the end of May, some forms of money coming through. But I just feel like over a longer haul, there's a secondary element of money that's coming through. So that's what I have for you, more along that line of career, money, finance.